Yes, a good one.
Oh, okay, wine. Wine. Loving that.
It's
Sarah?
called
Yeah, let me get
preparation.
my water.
Okay, I have nothing, but okay. Okay.
Hold on, I have branded water. Get in a little.
Okay, okay.
No, no.
I can't sing.
So, Steve, now it's obvious who is the British one, which is the synonym of alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, said the Russian.
I have nothing. I have only Stенka, I have nothing. I am clean.
Bottle of vodka underneath the table, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you that.
It's inside the Stенka. That's the real reason for Stенka, so you can hide all of your empty vodka bottles.
Exactly.
The real background.
That is why people use Stенka. That is really, that is the only reason why people can, have this. But I've come prepared. I've downloaded this, and I'm like, since we're talking about that, I'm going to be ready.
See, it's not actually even a real shirt. It's just like red wine stained t-shirt with a host of bottles behind there. So.
Meanwhile, I have not had a drink since the 2nd of February.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Super Zoj over here.
Okay. Super Zosh. Super Zosh.
Good for you, yeah.
Sensitive. Cheers to that.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, yeah.
You should support me. It means more for you.
Yeah, but now, since we are all isolating, so we don't have a lot of chances to go to the shop and get some wine. Unless you have prepared, like Steve.
I have, of course, prepared.
I'm sure that you have.
I did that, but with coffee. I have a lot of coffee.
Okay, but do you go out to the shop, or do you mainly just stay home?
Once a week. So I went to the shops today. The last time was last Saturday.
Okay. I love that. It's like a hermit life.
Yeah. That's the phrase I've been using. I've been asking everyone, how's hermit life?
How's hermit life? Exactly.
Yeah.
So now
bonus word from the last Fandoran book I read. Особое поручение. Отшельник.
I know.
I did that word recently.
So
I prepared for my class.
Отшельник. So now I am an отшельник, which is actually another weird Russian word that we can discuss a bit later. But today, so what are we talking about today?
Weird Russian words for the home.
Yeah, we have a lot of them, but so Steve, do you have a piece of paper or something?
No, I'm a modern man. I have my tablet with the list of words we talked about before.
I also have my tablet.
Oh, by the way, life hack. If your internet connection is like especially slow, turn off the Wi-Fi connection on all your other devices so that your laptop's taking all of the bandwidth.
All the energy, okay.
Okay, I need to do that.
Yeah, you should
Later.
do that.
Yeah, Steve.
You need to do that.
How about shush? Did we think about shush?
Okay.
Shush is a good idea.
Shush is a very good idea if we,
Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
And what are we going to do? Bring it on.
Okay, we can do that next time because today I think that we could talk about the concept of dom in Russian.
Okay.
Because I think that in Russian we have a lot of weird words, and we have a lot of problems translating the words like Подъезд, двор, and Вахтёрша, and this kind of thing. But we may have a problem with the very first word, like dom. Like, how would you say in English? Это мой дом, я здесь живу.
This is my house, I live here.
Okay, so it's just a house, right?
It can also mean home. It's like house and home at the same time.
Okay.
There's no distinction between the two.
Because even in America, my family always lived in a flat.
Okay.
In British English, in an apartment, but we would always say like, I'm at home, or I'm going to go home. This is my house.
Okay. Because again, like in Russian, we have those long, weird, houses, and actually, we call it like Многоквартирный дом or Многоэтажный дом. So how would we say that in English?
It depends which English.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. We have
Complex
American English and we have British English. Fantastic.
Or we can also say block of flats.
Okay, a block of flats.
Actually, in
You
British
can
English, we
say
have the
that.
distinction.
We can.
We all can. We can all say that. But actually, in British English, there's a distinction between flat and apartment.
Okay.
When we say flat, it's the older style. We're thinking London architecture, usually not very pleasant accommodation, quite small. But when we use apartment in modern British English, usually denotes something a lot more modern, a lot more spacious. It's got a nicer feel to it.
Fancy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Something more upmarket.
In American English, it's just all an apartment. Anything that's not a house, I mean, you know, a detached house, a separate house, is an apartment. So in New York, they live in apartments, even where they have these complexes, многоэтажные дома, it's your apartment.
Okay. And you call it like a complex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in English, that would be a block of flats, and I mean, in British English.
Although now that I think of it, we also have condominiums,
okay.
And a lot of them are the size of what we would think of as an apartment, but we call them condos.
Okay.
I think the difference, I'm not really 100% what the difference is. I think the difference is that you like pay communal fees altogether for the upkeep of this little community of condominiums, whereas an apartment block is one building normally with a lot of different apartments in it.
Okay.
I thought the main difference was about ownership. Like the apartment block was owned by a single owner or a single company, whereas the condominium was owned by private owners. Is that right?
Not necessarily, because you can also rent a condo.
Okay. Because in Russian we have, so we also have like kvartira, and we also have апартаменты. But the difference is that we will come to that a bit later. That would be about Прописка, because when you have the апартаменты, you cannot be like registered.
They don't give you a Прописка.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have Прописка there. But flat is like, you know, the standard thing where you have all the things, and you have Прописка and polyclinica and, you know, kindergarten and all those things. They must be in your neighborhood. Okay. So block of flats or complex or condominium. Interesting. Speaking of, okay, let's talk about Подъезд, because this is my favorite one. It always makes my students confused and like, what's Подъезд?
Oh, you know, also we should add to this when we're speaking of Подъезд, дом, корпус, строение, подъезд.
Exactly.
Because a number on a building is too much.
Well, I wanted to say that подъезд, it's your entrance, but then, you know, there's also строение, which can be your entrance as well.
Yeah.
And if I'm being completely honest, to this day, I can feel my way around these different courtyards, but I still don't 100% know what the difference is.
If you live in Moscow long enough, you just have to feel your way a little bit, just try and find out where the corpus is.
You know, I've lived in Russia my whole life, but I don't feel comfortable and I don't really know my way around корпус, подъезд, строение, and all those, you know, addresses with 15/13. It's making me crazy. Yeah. Like, what's that? Where am I supposed to go? How is that?
Corpus I'm down with. That's just which building it is. But then when it's строение, I'm like, is that the side of the building? And then подъезд is the entrance on the correct side that I've finally found.
Also, there's this delightful thing in Russian architecture where, for example, one town I was living in, I was trying to find building 10 in this. Well, there was a building here, building 7. Then there was building 8. Followed by building 9, building 9A, building 11. And 10 was located somewhere all the way over here. Why? Because...
Just because.
Oh, that reminds me of one time when I first started teaching corporate clients and going to offices. I was looking for one address. It was Ulitsa Vavilova. And I had a similar situation to Steve. I'm like, okay, House 8, right, keep going. House 10, good, right direction. House 30, oh boy. So I go back to house 8 because I needed 8A and I can't find it, and I'm walking around and I'm asking security guards and no one can tell me. I send a picture to my student who says, I don't know where that is, never seen it before. It turns out it's because the road forks and both ends are ulica Vavilova, and they keep the same numbering order for a little bit of the way, even though they're in different branches of the fork.
No, that is frustrating. That really is frustrating, because I remember first time I moved to Moscow, so a couple of first my encounters with the English with Moscow addresses. I was crying. We would agree, to meet at some place, and it would be like, where is this place? I don't know. And I would literally be crying and, calling my husband, come pick me up because I have no idea where I am. My phone is about to die. Please come pick me up.
I would give myself like an extra hour, half hour, and still end up late because I couldn't find it.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, there was one time I accidentally followed the road signs pointing in the direction I needed to go in. And it took me roughly 4 kilometers away from the building that I needed to be at.
Yes.
But is it the same in America and in England? Do you have the same confusing system?
No.
No. Straightforward, no.
Like,
we have a street.
Uh-huh.
No, we have a street. There is a street name, evens on one side, odds on the others.
Okay.
And it's on every street in the United Kingdom. It runs in the same principle.
Okay.
Like, you go to New York and you have a nice little convenient grid system. Yeah, you just walk down and you see everything very logically laid out and you have no problems.
Yeah.
And here you're like going through a courtyard, going up a staircase, down a hallway, outside of another staircase, into a different alleyway, and then finally you found your destination.
Maybe. But that's not for sure. All right, so we would say that Podъезд is entrance, like the...
Close enough.
Yeah. Would be. And corpus?
Building.
Pass. I like that. Building.
Yeah, like, Большая Грузинская, number 40, building 2.
Okay,
entrance
and
3.
Строение?
That one.
Steve
Also pass.
I'll drink to that.
I'm just going to sip my wine and quietly listen.
Version 3.
No one knows what that is. Not really. Like, even the Russian people.
No.
Even we don't know what that is. That is something crazy. Okay, so you find the entrance, and then normally, if you're going to, to visit your friends, you would dial the Domofon.
I'm going to go with intercom for that one.
Okay, but
Yeah, I would too.
yeah, I mean, I understand where it comes from, but like my personal feeling is that intercom is a little too fancy for our Domofon.
Well, because we have the same system in like New York City apartments, and they're just as super basic. And yeah, we call it the intercom, or we'll say, buzz me in through the intercom.
Okay. And do you have like the universal set of numbers that you press and then the door opens?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Steve, do you have that where you live, like that you can press some set of numbers and the door will open instead of...
I don't know.
Okay.
Just because your average English accommodation is going to be a terraced house, that makes up the majority.
Okay.
And
But like in London, do you have it? Because I'm thinking about New York, and I know that you can dial the number of the apartment to call it, and then they let you in.
I have never tried to get into a London flat.
Never? You have never tried to get into London flat?
I almost never go. I go to London for...
Steve has no friends.
Oh, I forgot, exactly, sorry. I
right, okay,
to say that, but I was like, Sarah will do that for me, so and I'll just play along.
Well, why would I ever go
You're
to London? I have
friends,
plenty of
so.
annoying bimbos around Moscow to play with.
Your best friends are in Moscow. Your best friends who are going to Moscow.
Best
More like acquaintance instead.
More like, someone I know, I barely know.
Like people who put up with him.
Yeah, exactly. People who put up with him. All right.
Why did I sign on to this?
Because you don't have anything else to do. Because you don't
have no friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sit at home alone, drinking, crying.
Maybe
crying. At the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
And now you're just drinking, sitting home alone, but with us mocking you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such an improvement.
It is. It really is.
He's very lucky, isn't he?
I know.
If I just tilt the lid of this computer, the annoying voices go away. It's fantastic.
The ones in your head, I don't think
here, so if you ever need to shut them down, computer wouldn't help.
Mm-hmm.
No, the internal voices have an English accent. The irritating external voices always speak with a Russian one. Funny that.
Okay.
Next word.
Exactly. Moving on. Moving on. We have this thing, and not only Moscow or Russia, but we have this Spальный район.
I'll go for suburbs.
Oh, suburbs.
That's the closest equivalent, even though it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
No. I'd say suburbs. There's America. When we picture the American suburbs, we tend to picture, at least outside of the country,
okay,
like white picket fence, like cookie cutter kind of houses over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas an English suburb would be like kind of more like a village area, which is developed, but we still call it a village.
Okay.
Yeah. Just outside the town, and that's kind of our version of suburbia.
Okay.
Whereas American Спальный район, suburb, it's just one family houses, driveways, lawns, big yards, and that's it. Just streets with residential houses and no stores, nothing. Just your houses, your lawns, your kids running in the street playing basketball.
Basically, like you would say that Moscow, like except for the center, you would say that everything else is like is suburb.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. So, for example, where I live at the moment, it's fairly suburban. But, for example, if you go to Sportivna, then there's other things around there. So there are buildings where one would live, but there's lots of other things around.
Exactly. That's the difference between Moscow, for instance, and America. Even, the smallest Спальный район has everything. Like everything.
If we talk about, for example, like Рассказовка, they have all of these жилой комплексы, which we'll also talk about, and that I would consider to be like the Moscow version of a suburb, but they still have, there's small grocery stores, small pharmacies and stuff like that, everything you need.
Yeah, like if we talk about Речной вокзал, for instance, or Семеновская, it's not the center, but honestly, like I wouldn't call it like a suburb. I wouldn't call it a suburb.
Maybe, I guess, for Moscow, what I would consider the suburbs are places that are not reachable by transport, although that's also starting to change with the Moscow diameter and the Moscow Central Circle. But before they extended to these far out places like, I don't know, Lobnya or Odintsovo or Podolsk, I would have considered those to be suburbs. And I guess still kind of do.
I would agree, with that I would agree. But Steve, but you don't live in a suburb now, right? Like suburb, you live.
No, I live very close to a metro stop. So if we're going to take Sarah's example of what's now recently just been connected with being a suburb, then no, I don't live in a suburb.
Okay. But would you say like Речной вокзал? How would you describe this area?
Well, fun fact, me and Sarah both used to live there.
I know.
And I'd say before they started digging up the entire area, I would say it was fairly suburban, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I would say that's more like the outskirts of the city. So still connected, but just barely so.
Okay. Okay. So like outskirts of the city. Okay. Because a lot of so in Russian we have a lot of people would say that like a residential area or something like that, like they would call where they live. Like I live in the residential area, meaning Spальный район. Is that okay, or you wouldn't call it this way?
I think we probably wouldn't say it like that.
Okay.
Got to be a little more specific.
Okay. Okay. Like on the outskirts. I just live in the outskirts.
Yeah.
Or in the center, you know, it's go big or go home. You don't have anything else. Okay. The next word that I wanted us to talk about, but probably is going to be the easy one, Šлагbaum.
Barrier.
Just barrier.
I would say apparently there is. I had to Google this before we started. It's a boom gate, apparently.
Boom gate.
But I've literally never heard that before. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Sarah, no boom gate? No. So
it is a good one because it took me, I mean, I remember the first time I learned the word Šлагbaum a few years ago, and it took me a good few days to come up with an English equivalent before I thought, oh, parking barrier.
Okay, so parking barrier. But like, you know, parking barrier, I would say that seems, you know, pretty accurate because it just describes what this thing is for.
Yeah, it blocks you from entering the place for parking.
Exactly. Okay. So this one is easy. Boom gate, which doesn't really exist, as we have established, and the parking barrier. The next one is Вахтёрша. A lot of
I actually don't know that word.
Okay, Steve, do you know who Vahtёrsha is?
Yes, it's the very nice man who lived in my building from Tajikistan who sits near the front door.
Okay. So we have Vahtyör as a man and Vahtёrsha as a woman.
So what's the difference between Vahtёr and concierge?
Very good one.
When you think concierge, it's more like, in English, when you say concierge, it's a stolen French word, it would be more like hotel, be a concierge, like a nice hotel would have a concierge.
But okay.
That's not what it is at all in our apartment buildings, even remotely.
I can tell you this. We have friends and they live on Polyanka and they have консьержка. And people who live not in the center, they have Вахтёрша. Or Вахтёр. So the idea is the same, but just the name is different.
And so I don't know how we would call it in English. I mean, I wouldn't say that that's a concierge because that brings to mind what Steve described for us of someone at a hotel who stands at the front desk, whereas this is a little man or woman in their tiny room and they track who comes in and who goes and maybe they deal with packages, general order of the reception area. They're not a doorman because they don't stand and hold the door open for you. So it's kind of like a building manager, but also not.
Building supervisor?
Supervisor?
A building supervisor, I guess, would be the closest thing that we've got.
Okay. But I thought there was a separate building supervisor who's not the concierge. Okay. I mean, I know my building has one.
Okay. Difficult. I mean, we would probably say something like a lot of Russian speakers would say like a concierge because it somehow corresponds to the name, but weird Russian words.
Yeah, that one, I think it's hard to think of an equivalent because we don't have a corresponding position. I mean, if we speak about apartments in New York and Boston, anything like that, you don't have this space on the first floor where somebody's sitting all day long.
Yeah, and I would say that some people actually live there because we have, like, you know, in the house where I live, we used to have this, and I think it was even a family or maybe of 2 or 3 people with a baby, like a wife and a husband and a baby.
Wow.
And their room, yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. And the room was about, I don't know, 4 square meters. And every morning when I would go to work, I would smell the яичница.
Oh.
Actually,
being
you know,
quarantined like that.
I know. And they also have this tiny window, and I could see the pan and eggs, and you know, I never like, oh, but that's sad.
Married couple in my building, and whatever food they're making, it does smell delicious. It's very nice. You open the front door, and it's a beautiful smell coming through. So actually, it's not bad.
Okay, you can say, can I join? I have dinner today.
I could.
You guys, speaking of food and breakfasts, reminds me of a word that we can add to the list. Okay. So I've never been satisfied with the translations I've seen for syrniki.
Oh, I know.
Like cottage cheese cake, curd cake.
No, it's not. I mean, probably cottage cheese cake, probably
pancake, but it's just not a satisfying translation.
No, it's not, because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't reflect the full concept, and you know, it doesn't show you the flavor of syrniki. The syrniki is something really, really nice.
And it sounds disgusting when you say cottage cheese pancake.
I know, because I was talking to my friends about that, and they say, no, I would never try that. And I'm like, no, it's really good. No, the sound of it, I don't like it.
Like, no, you guys, it's basically like a mini cheesecake for breakfast.
Exactly. So actually, we can call it a mini cheesecake. But again, it's not exactly a mini cheesecake.
Yeah.
Mini cheese fry?
Cheese.
That makes it sound like a mozzarella stick.
Yeah.
You know, the fried mozzarella sticks? Or the grilled halloumi or something. I think the problem again here is that we don't really have an equivalent, at least in American breakfasts. There's nothing that looks remotely like it.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys don't really have tvorog, you know, like tvorog. That's why it makes it difficult, you know, to talk about.
So I think we just revealed for ourselves that we can have an entire separate session about food words.
Yes, we can. We can do that.
So let's move on to the next house word.
Okay, so
while we're here,
the next house word is this word.
Stенka.
Yeah. Because honestly, before you brought this word up, I was like, Stенka, what the hell is that? Who needs Stенka? So, Sarah.
So Stенka is what we see behind Anya there in the image. It's this kind of system of wardrobes which takes up the entire wall, always of some kind of really dark old school wood, often varnished, with tons of different, much deeper than need be, compartments, cabinets, some with glass, some for hanging, some drawers. And that's how I would describe Stенka.
I have nothing to add to that, but if you want a real traditional Stенka, then it should be filled with unnameable objects from the past 30 years minimum.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what Sarah just told us, Stенka is a much shorter word, but your description, Sarah, you know, it explains just the essence of it. Yeah, but would you come up with like a shorter version, or it just doesn't exist?
Full wall wardrobe cabinet system.
Okay.
That's the short version.
Yeah. Oh, and do you know that we also have this шведская стенка?
No, actually.
No, so Swedish шведская стенка is it's like a set of sports equipment where you can do like pull-ups. It's mainly for kids. Like it usually is built for kids. Like, you know, pull-ups with like ladder or a ring where you can hang. We call it шведская стенка.
I didn't know it was called that, but I've seen it because one of my Skype students, a young girl, she does gymnastics and ice skating and stuff. So she has one in her room, and I always see it in the view behind her.
And now you know that it's a шведская стенка. And how would you say that in English?
I guess wall storage center, just describe it exactly as it is.
Okay.
No, it's not for storage, it's
No,
for
it's not for
working out,
storage.
Steve.
Oh, right, the working out one, okay.
Yeah.
I guess like home
Home gym?
gymnastic equipment.
Score.
Okay, but again, home gymnastics equipment, it explains what it is, but шведская стенка, because стенка is this, and шведская, why do you call it Swedish? It's like, we also have the Swedish table at the hotels. Why is it called this?
Why?
No one. And I have a few friends who are Swedish, and they're like, why would you do that to our language?
No ideas.
And then it's wrong.
Especially, I don't understand, because you guys also have the word buffet.
Yeah, we do.
Which is what it is.
Yeah, but in Russian,
you've decided to call it Swedish table, and
I don't know.
Yeah, you have you have two words for exactly the same thing.
Maybe buffet came later in Russian? Could that be an option?
Well, probably not though. Like the French, it was a French borrowing, so it must have come from. Probably came from the 19th century.
But actually, now I'm thinking that buffet, buffet, we have also the type of not a wardrobe, but like a chest of drawers with a mirror. We can also call it a buffet. Like you can put up. Yeah, like we have this thing, like a wardrobe where you can put something, and we call it like поставь это в буфет, like, But I would say that buffet, I think that buffet has more to do with sweets. I'm not sure.
What about like a obed buffet?
Good one. It's can't think, I can't really explain it. Because in my head, buffet had something to do with, with pastry, with cake, something like that. But but now you brought it up, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Why do we have it? Yeah. I don't know. I need to do the research. And when we talk about food, we're going to come back to that.
I think we have a whole series in the works.
We do. Okay. Buffet, weird word. The next one is samovar.
Okay, there's going to be no equivalent, but
I agree.
Russian style teapot.
Okay.
It's not even is it really even a teapot at this juncture?
Russian style or boiler with teapot? Because there is the teapot on the top where the concentrated tea goes.
Yeah.
And then the big part in the middle where the water boils.
Yeah.
It is a social teapot.
Tea making system.
Pot. There you go.
What?
Pot. Instead of a teapot, it's a team pot.
Import? I don't understand.
No,
well, usually it's a teapot.
Okay.
A teapot?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm not getting
this is
where
for a
the
group of
team
people.
comes from.
Well, it's adding an extra letter, so it's a team, like a group.
A team!
Oh.
God, and I'm the one that's drinking.
No, you just have bad pronunciation.
I'm sorry, where did
like
the language come
Sarah.
from again? All right.
Okay, T-O, but this was a good joke. Although you had to explain it a little bit.
Which makes it not a good joke.
Yeah, which makes it not a good joke. But...
No, it makes you too slow, that's what it means.
Your connection is slow, we are not.
If we vote.
Yeah, I can hold up two hands if it helps.
We
the same finger on each one.
Okay. So, tea making system is what we have come up with. Actually, we have just two more words left. The next word is Прописка.
Registration.
Registration would probably be.
Then you have to describe what kind of registration, because in America, and I'm pretty sure Steve can correct me if I'm wrong, in England, we don't have this system where you have to go and register with the authorities about the place where you are permanently residing. Like, we have the concept of permanent address, but you're just, that's where you receive your mail, and that's it. It's not like an official document and a stamp in your passport.
Okay. So you don't
Yeah, we have no equivalent at all. A lot of things are actually based on our national insurance number.
Okay.
You need proof of address. So, for example, if I wanted to open a bank account, then I need to show that I have a place where I live normally, and that's considered my tax. We don't have anything in the passport about that. And in terms of having a registration document, just
Yeah,
why
like
would
you
we need it?
You go somewhere and you start living there, and you turn on your electricity and water, and they start sending you bills, and that's how you officially have a permanent address.
Okay.
And then your bank starts sending statements there once you open a bank account, and that serves to further confirm that this is your so-called permanent address.
Okay. Okay. And if you change your address, you just
I don't know.
Well, the next place you live at.
okay.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
the next place you live at, you get new bills, and it's easy as that.
So you just go
And-
online and change your address, and that basically is it.
Pretty
well,
much,
I don't
yeah.
know how it works in England, but in America, you, first of all, like, let's say I'm moving to a new apartment. I contact the electric company and kind of, tell them that I want to start buying electricity, so they'll send my bills there. And then for any bills or other mail I'm afraid might go to my previous apartment,
Okay.
I just go to the post office, I fill out a little change of address form, and I give it to them. And
Okay.
it's done.
Okay.
So most communication these days is done online, so you can actually choose whether or not to receive mail. So what you can do is, after you've changed, if you've decided to not receive mail from them, gone digital, removes the problem completely. So you can move to your new place, directly request information from the company to your new home, and no problem.
I'm thinking about how that would work in the US, like if you needed proof of your new address for your bank or something. But then again, you might just like request a one-time bill from your electric company or something and then show it to
You
them.
even can
I'm
do
not
that.
positive.
A one-time bill.
Well, also, how many times do you open a new bank account, really? Like,
Yeah,
I had the same one for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but I
open
mean,
that.
if you move, you want to change your address on it because they can occasionally send mail to your house. Like, for example, your new debit card, when
For
yours
example.
expires, they'll send it to your house. That's why you would want to change your address, your permanent address for them.
But yeah, you don't have to prove your address every time. Like, once you've had the account, like I opened mine when I was a teenager and I was at university. So that was done from that address there. And since then, I just go online and update the address. There's no proof of address after the initial opening.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how it works with American banks because I've never had to do it. My family's been living in the same apartment since I was 14, 15, and I opened my bank account after that. So I've never had to deal with that.
Because in Russia, we need Прописка for a lot of things. Like, you must have Прописка, and you also can have регистрация, but регистрация is something temporary because Прописка is like, I own this flat, or my husband, my mom, so they own this flat and I'm registered there. So like
I have the right to reside there.
Exactly. And we also have временная регистрация, which gives
you almost no rights. It just means you can go to kindergarten in this neighborhood.
It's true. Yeah. Oh, speaking of kindergartens and hospitals, how do they assign you to it, or do you choose that?
Okay. Yeah, if we're talking the NHS system, you register to a local doctor.
Okay.
And you can choose which doctor you wish to register to.
Okay.
And that's really, really easy. That doesn't require a lot of details.
Okay.
In terms of turning up to hospital, you just turn up.
Okay.
Hi, I've broken my leg.
Okay.
There is no paperwork involved.
Okay.
In America, for your regular doctor or for your specialist, let's say a pediatrician, a dentist, you would look at who is in your insurance policy's network, and then from that list choose whichever one you like, whether it be further or closer to your house is no difference.
Okay.
And if we're speaking about the hospital, for example, you just choose the one you like, really.
Okay.
The one that has the specialists you need.
Okay. Okay, so it's just as easy as that. All right. Okay, so we have established that Прописка would be the registration, and registracja would also be the registration as well.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's a lot of registration here.
Yeah.
Прописка, maybe we could say, is like your permanent registration versus registracja, which is your temporary registration.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
Because for anyone who's not familiar with the Russian system, I had a lot of fun the first time when I learned that Propiska means that you can go and they have to let you live in that apartment.
Yeah.
As long as you have that Propiska.
Yeah. It's true.
So like if you buy an apartment and somebody has a Propiska there that's still active, they have the right to come live there.
Yeah. And when you buy an apartment, you have to make sure that no one is propisan there, because if they do, they can come in. But hey, this is my apartment.
And
what you doing here?
Also learned more fun facts recently. If you have, maybe it's only become relevant recently, they updated the law or something, but if you have Propiska in an apartment, you can do a temporary registration for another person, even if you're not the owner of the flat.
Really? I never knew about that.
Yeah, my friend helped me out with it. Okay.
So there might be something good about our Propiskas that you can help me out.
I'm sure one will present itself eventually.
All right, and the last word we will do for today is Dacha. It's where I now. Dacha.
I tend to try and describe dacha as cabin in the woods, because country house makes it sound a lot fancier than it is.
Yeah,
cabin is good.
Okay.
Also, when people say country house now,
sounds like a
when
rich
people
thing.
are trying to, but it's also like, if we think dacha, we think of a single story, we think made of wood, we think more traditional. Whereas country house now can mean brick. It can look actually kind of anglicized.
Okay.
And you see a lot of the modern ones.
Okay.
Like I've seen and been to dachas that are log cabins, and like we'll have more than one floor, but maximum two. And it's really, all of the ones I've been to, it's kind of like a summer camp setup. So we've shoved as many couches and beds into each room as possible so that as many of our relatives and friends as possible can join us. And maybe we have indoor plumbing, maybe we don't.
And we also have this thing about our dachas, is that everything that we don't need in our apartments, it all goes to dacha.
It's kind of like a glorified Stenka.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like everything that doesn't fit on the balcony goes to the dacha.
Yeah, so first it goes to the balcony, then it goes to dacha, and then you can
stays
burn
there
it.
forever.
Yeah. Then it goes to dacha. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so balcony, Stenka, dacha.
Stenka, balcony.
Stenka, balcony, dacha.
Oh, do excuse me.
Yeah. And so, but can we use like I'm at my dacha now?
Actually, the word dacha, because it's so unique to Russia, when it's used in articles in English, it's just dacha, because there is no equivalent. It's not a cottage. The cottage would be like a rural stone house in rural England.
It could be cottage.
Cottage, like if you compare it to like the original meaning of cottage, like made of stone.
Okay.
I've seen some little stone dachas or brick dachas. I've even seen like corrugated metal dachas.
Yeah, I don't have a word for those. But I guess maybe the stone ones we could say cottage.
Okay.
I would say either cottage or like our cabin in the woods, or our countryside cabin.
But it doesn't really mean in the woods. I mean, sometimes we have, like, I can, like, dacha, my dacha, I have the house just in front of me, which is like, the block of flats just in front of me. And that is our dacha. So it's not exactly in the woods.
I
Say
This
country
new
cabin.
concept of dacha for yeah, country cabin.
Country cabin. Okay. Country cabin.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that we have covered everything that we wanted for today. Now we all know what Подъезд, Домофон, Спальный район, Стенка. And we've talked about шведская стенка as well.
Yeah, I got some extras in there.
Yeah. And for next time, I think we must do spravka and poliklinika, and we must talk about that because spravka is probably one of my favorite ones. And we have mentioned that. So, do you guys have anything else to say?
With housework, not at the moment, but we can tie it up next time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we already have pretty much ready to go episodes on food and on random slips of paper that you need in Russian Lab.
Maybe that should be the third one, just slips of paper.
Моя прописка, моя регистрация, моя миграционная карта,
Aw.
and on and on and on.
Yeah. Snails and a lot of other things. All right.
I don't even know that one.
We'll talk about that. I'll show you what that is.
Okay.
And polis, of course, and polis.
Oh yeah.
So that being said, thank you guys so much for this enlightenment.
Argument, I think, but yeah.
And I will see you
Thank you.
probably next week.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
Zoop.